I'm Anastasia Chatzka, a fashion designer with over 20 years of experience and a sewing educator. And I'm really excited you're here to share another sewing adventure with me today. Welcome to Sewing Anastasia, and today I'm going to give you a bunch of tips on how to successfully sew with vinyl. Vinyl is such a trendy new fabric to be using. People are making clothes out of it, they're making raincoats out of it, they're making bags out of it. I mean, even home decor out of it. So you can't just sew it like regular fabric though. There are some certain things that you need to do that are gonna make your life easier for sewing vinyl. So follow along and I'm gonna give you some tips for sewing vinyl. If you're not already a subscriber to Sewing Anastasia, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when all the new videos come out. Also, now teaching virtual sewing lessons and sewing lessons in person. Information for that is going to be down below at sewinganastasia.com. My first tip is a Teflon foot. The Teflon foot's amazing because it glides right over the vinyls and the plastics that you're using and it doesn't stick. The Teflon foot is going to give you the smoothest sewing experience ever on vinyl. If you're using a metal foot, it's probably gonna get all bunchy, it's not gonna move right, you're gonna have uneven stitches, and you're gonna wanna rip your hair out. So definitely suggest grabbing a Teflon foot. I'm gonna show you real quick how easy it sews over the vinyl. These stitches are so even and smooth with this Teflon foot. There are no issues. With the metal foot, it might have bunched up, it might have given us uneven stitches, but right here we have nice, even, consistent stitches and our fabric's nice and flat. There's no bunching or pulling on either side. And that was so easy. My next tip is Teflon strips. Teflon strips are these little pieces of Teflon that have a sticky back to them. So these are great because you can stick them to any foot that you have. So let's say I wanted to put a zipper into a vinyl bag and my regular zipper foot, because it's metal, is sticking. Well, all I have to do is unstick one of these little vinyl strips and I can put them wherever I want on the foot that I'm using. These are awesome. So let's say I was gonna use this and I was gonna put it on the bottom of my zipper foot. I would pull this apart, undo the sticky, and go ahead and put it in the middle of it. And it's gonna raise it up a little and it's gonna glide right across the vinyl. So if you don't have the Teflon foot, these are a great alternative. They let you take any foot you have and turn it into a Teflon foot, but it's not gonna work as well as a full Teflon foot, but they still work great. My next tip is tape. You're probably wondering why and how tape? Well, two ways. Tape, you can take it and put it on the bottom of any foot as well. So we're just going to place it on the bottom and you'll notice that it makes it nice and smooth as well. But you're gonna have to cut out any little indentations that are in your foot, and then when you're done, you can peel it off. If it's a little sticky, you can use some Goo Gone. Tape is also a great way to stick two pieces of vinyl together. Let's say you have a patch pocket on top of a raincoat. You don't wanna put pins in it, and you can't get clips on the edge because there's not two seams that are together. You could definitely tape these pieces in place, and before you get to the tape, remove it, and then you got it. It's in place just as if you used pins. I would really only use this method if I was in a pinch. It's like a super DIY hack and it works, which is great, but it's not as good as the Teflon foot or the Teflon strips. My next tip, paper. Paper is a lifesaver when sewing vinyl. You can put it on the bottom of your project if you feel like the feed dog are sticking on your vinyl. You can also put it on the top of your project if you don't have tape, a Teflon foot, or Teflon strips. Let's give it a try. My setup here is going to be a piece of paper on the bottom, 2 layers of vinyl, and then the paper on the top. So watch how easy this goes through. And notice that I have a metal foot on. The stitches on this are so nice and consistent. It's just like using a Teflon foot. They're nice and even, they're not pulling, they're not puckering. My fabric did nothing weird. You can tell they're nice and consistent because my pink on the back looks completely normal for the bottom bobbin thread. So how do you get rid of this paper on here, right? We don't want paper on our project. All you need to do is take it and just gently pull it off. It pops right up out of the stitches. We do the same thing to the back. And there we go. And paper does not stick in your seams at all. It just pops right out. Don't want to cry while you're sewing vinyl? Make sure you stock up on your tissue paper. My next tip, clips. Clips are also a lifesaver when sewing vinyl because you need things to stay in place, but you can't use pins because you're gonna poke a hole in it, and then that hole is gonna be there permanently and you're going to see it. Not cool. So make sure you have some sewing clips so that way you can hold your vinyl pieces together. And if you don't have sewing clips, you can also use paper clips or binder clips. And my last tip is ironing with muslin. I bet you didn't think you could iron vinyl because it would melt, right? Well, you can totally iron vinyl. All you need is a pressing cloth. This could be muslin, it could be a dish towel, it could be an old t-shirt, it could be just about anything that's gonna cover up the vinyl. And I know you're probably gonna need to press open some seams and get them ready for more top stitching. So don't be afraid to iron your vinyl. So I have my vinyl on my ironing board. I'm going to place a piece of muslin on top of it. And I'm going to put my iron on top of the muslin. You can use steam, you can use no steam, completely up to you. And you're gonna notice that my vinyl is not melted. It is perfectly fine. It's a little hot, but it's completely fine. See, that was so easy, and we did not melt our vinyl. It is still in one piece. Thanks so much for watching Sewing Anastasia today. If you have any questions about sewing, vinyl, or pleather, or leather, or any of that stuff, make sure you leave it down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And I also have a very specific video on how to sew leather, so make sure you check out that one as well. I would love to see all of your projects with vinyls and pleathers, so make sure you tag me in them so I can share them with everybody else and keep everybody inspired and sewing. If you're not already a subscriber, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when all the new videos come out. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, give it some applause, and leave a comment down below and let me know what you thought. Thanks so much for watching!